All right, what's going on, gang? Have no idea if anybody's in here watching right now, but at least you'll have it for later. It's Keg back with another Run Pure Bets main card breakdown video for tomorrow's UFC Fight Night card between main events Holly Holm and Caitlin Vieira. Should be a fun one. And I guess I'll roll through the main card like I did last time. See if we can find some value, break down the angles. First fight, Polyana Viana and Tabitha Richie. Both girls look good. Polyana Viana comes in looking solid. Two submission armbar wins in her last two fights against Mallory Martin and Emily Whitmire. That makes sense. They aren't very good, right? But Polyana Viana, at least when she does win a fight, she has about 100% finish rate, which, I mean, you have to at least take seriously. And most times, if Polyana Viana is not going to win the fight, she's probably going to lose a decision. Why? Because a lot of the times, like Nascimento last week, she's willing to lay on her back and she'll invite people into her guard. And most of the times it works out. But when it doesn't work out, she's probably going to lose a decision. But she's going to look huge in the cage. She's got about 5 inches of reach on Tabitha Richie. So Viana has to use that length, in my opinion, to keep Tabitha Richie at bay from just relentlessly shooting takedowns. How I think she does that is probably with a stiff jab. I won't really know, though, until we're watching the fight. Tabitha Richie also looks solid. Title liked her in this fight. I can't really hate on anybody for liking Tabitha Richie in this fight. But she is an up-and-coming fighter, and she's going to fight a real veteran at this point. And the line opened a little weird offshore. Polyana Viana was like plus 175, and then it went away immediately. But I think that Polyana Viana still deserves to be a slight favorite in the fight. And if that's the case, I think that the value sides with her in a very, very close fight. Right now, she's plus 115. Tabitha Richie's minus 135. But, if you told me you were on Richie, I get it. But I'm going to lean with Polyana Viana plus 115. And I think there's probably a little value on her submission prop at 4-1, which seems like a fair price considering how many times she gets an armbar submission off. So aside from that, nothing really there. Chidi and Jaquani against Dusko Todorovic. Chidi is a beast. I love Chidi. He's been in the MMA game forever, and he's about as technically sound as a Muay Thai striker gets. He's got really good fight IQ. And over the last few years, finally, his ground game and his takedown defense is at least starting to come up to the level of his Muay Thai striking. But he still doesn't have the best cardio. We have to at least let people know that. It has been getting better, but it's still not great. But he has a huge advantage in the fight on the feet. And in my opinion, that's why this line is where it is, right? The bookmakers probably think Chidi is going to be able to just style on Dusko Todorovic, who, if we're being honest, his striking defense, if we're being kind, is awful, right? So, yes, does he have a good ground game? Can he control Can he control a fight with his wrestling? Sure he can. But he's a lot smaller than Chidi and Jaquani, and I think he's going to struggle to get him to the ground. I think at some point during the 3 rounds, Chidi probably finds the button and drops Dusko Todorovic. And that's why our subscribers are on the knockout prop. We gave it around plus 150, plus 145. And it's currently right now, let's see where it's at, plus 110 on FanDuel. So you lost the best of the number for sure. So you're going to have to decide. I don't really think it's worth getting on Njokuani right now on the money line. Can you throw him in parlays? I guess you can. But I think that he's going to find the button. So you have to decide, is plus 110 too much value lost on a prop that opened probably plus 170? Probably. So I think if you're not already on Chidi by KO, you just pass the fight and look for another angle. But I do think he finds the knockout at some point. All right, what do we got next? Eric Anders and Jung Park. Yeah, this line opened to pick him. Park took a ton of money. Now he's minus 205. So it's hard to get on him here. And I do think he wins the fight. Why? Because Eric Anders sucks. I mean, listen, I like you, boy, a lot, but he's not really good at much, man. What does he do good? He's got about 2 rounds of cardio. Yes, does he have power in his hands and does he throw bombs? Yes, but he's got zero technical striking technique. Like, where is the technique in the haymaker bombs that Eric Anders throws? I don't really see it. And he's an okay wrestler, right? But even when he gets the takedown, his top control is not great. People get up. People make their way back up to their feet against Eric Anders. So I think that he's outclassed everywhere in this fight. Park is longer. He's going to try to avoid the takedowns, which I think he will. And even if he is taken down in the first, which could happen. I could see him getting taken down in the first. But even that, he still wins round 2 and 3, in my opinion, and gets a close 29-28 decision, because I think he's better everywhere, man. I really do. I think he's better everywhere. And I lean that I think that this fight goes long. I think that Park is going to win a decision. It's going to go over 2.5 rounds. The fight's going to go the distance. So you can either take him by decision at plus 120, which I guess I don't mind, or you could take the over 2.5, I think is a solid parlay piece, or the fight goes the distance, I think is a solid parlay piece, because I just don't see it any other way. I think Park is going to win a pretty dominant decision here. So I'll lean with him by decision at plus 120. All right, co-main event, Santiago Ponzinibbio and Michelle Pereira. Title was on Ponzinibbio here when we did the DFS show earlier. I get it. I can't hate on it. It's hard to hate on no matter who you back here. Ponzinibbio, when he's at his best and really controlling a fight, he's throwing more volume and his counter-striking game is really working. But it doesn't work every time. Like, he loses fights, right? So the line seems accurate to me now. Initially, Ponzinibbio opened minus 150 offshore. I thought that was crazy. I thought Pereira deserved to be a slight favorite here. That's pretty much what he is now. He might throw less volume, I agree. But I think his cardio is, at the very least, as good as Ponzinibbio's. I think he throws harder than Ponzinibbio. And most importantly, he's got a way better chin than Ponzinibbio. And I think I really do think that Ponzinibbio could just get put to sleep here. That could be the way that he loses. But the legal market got killed on the line. But unfortunately, these are the prices that we get, right? I mean, minus 130. Where is he at right now? Minus 140 he's up to. Yeah, I mean, I'm not betting that. I wouldn't take him at minus 140. But if you don't want to lay the 40, you could shoot your shot with him winning by KO in that plus 375 range, which I think is, based on on how suspect Ponzinibbio's chin has looked in the past, I think that's a fair price at that. So I think that right now, if you don't want to lay that $1.40, um, yeah, I would just say plus 375. I think it's fairly priced. Main event: Holly Holm, Caitlin Vieira. Man, normally back in the day, I used to like Caitlin Vieira. Like I was like, oh man, she's an up and comer. She's a real up and comer. Here we go. And then like Irene Aldana put her to sleep in 4 minutes, and I was like, how good is she really? I don't know, man. I don't think she's that good. I think way less of her as a fighter now as I did going into that Aldana fight. Now Holly Holm, 40 years old and looking like she's never looked better before. I'm not that lucky. I'm 41. I feel like I'm 90. She's getting younger as she gets older. Now we always knew that she was a world class boxer, right? She was a decorated boxer before she came into the UFC. So we knew that her striking was world class. Then she comes over to the UFC and her footwork starts to get way better in the cage. And her range striking game starts to get way better because she was always a pocket boxer. But nobody ever gave her props for like decent takedowns or solid top control wrestling game because we never saw her do it in the cage. We used to hear about that it wasn't awful in the gym, but we never really saw her style on somebody. And then she fought Megan Anderson. And I mean, she just did her, bro. And we started to see those wrinkles in her ground game for the first time, where we were like, okay, Holly Holm, I see you, right? Then she gets put down by Amanda Nunes, which was expected, if we're being honest. I think the only type of female fighter that could beat Holly Holm is one that can hurt her, and Amanda Nunes hurts her. Then she wins a unanimous decision against Rocky, where Holm once again showed you can't control her against the cage, and she got the job done against Rocky. Then she follows that performance with probably her best and most well-rounded performance of her MMA career against Irene Aldana. She put on a striking clinic, but she still had 5 takedowns in that fight. Her wrestling game, her top control was flawless. And I really like her chances in this fight. Caitlin Vieira, like I just said, never really impressed me, maybe for like 5 minutes. But if you pick that resume apart, it leaves you with a feeling that she's not good. Or maybe she's average or like slightly above average, but she's not great. She's not the type of caliber of fighter that you need to be to beat somebody like Holly Holm, right? She beat Ashley Evans Smith. She beat Sarah McMahon, Kat Zingano. She looked okay doing it against average competition. She fights Irene Aldana, which was the first legitimate UFC fighter that she fought, and she got dropped in 4 minutes, right? Then she wins 2 out of 3 against Sarge and Misha Tate, but she misses weight. She gets destroyed by Yana Kunitskaya. So listen, Holly Holm is still world class at 40. And I don't think that Caitlin Vieira is good enough to beat somebody that's world class. So I think Holly's got way better stamina, way better fight IQ, world class boxing. Her footwork's on a different level. Her hands are faster. So she has shown now with this new wrinkle in her takedown game that if she wants to take you down, she'll outwork you for 4 minutes even until she gets the takedown. She is solid at them. So Holly Holm opens minus 210. Last time, let's check. Let's see what the current line is on there. Open minus 210. minus 235 now. So you can't really bet the money line, although I think she's fairly priced. You could throw her in 2-fighter parlays to get the price down on somebody. But the way that I bet her was I bet her to win in round 4, 5, or decision at minus 140. I also threw a couple props on the spreadsheet in this fight that I'll leave for the subscribers, which I like a lot because I see this fight going a specific way. But I got to tell you, I don't even hate minus 235 on Holly. I think that she is going to dominate this fight. I really do. I don't know. I'm not telling you to like lay 2,300 to pick up 1,000. But I'm also saying I don't mind it. I haven't decided if I'm going to do it. But I do have a bet on her around 4 or 5 or by decision at minus $1.40. So that's the main event. Last week, what did we give out? Jan Blachowicz got the win there. So we're crushing, obviously, on I think everybody's crushing on the bet side. Joey's got baseball going. JJ's got baseball and tennis going. Spread and Tyler taking care of the NBA. I've got you covered with MMA and NASCAR until the NFL rolls around. And yeah, I mean, we're rolling. So you can use the promo code BETS25 off. It gets you 25% off the first week or month. $45 your first month. I don't think you could beat it. I'm up 12 units in the month of May alone on top of whatever the other guys are doing. So, I mean, I think it's worth it. If you have the time to live bet and you can watch 20 hours of content every week and hang out with the boys and you're a hardcore recreational sports bettor, for an extra $10 a week, we have the live betting package. Hit the 20-1 winner on Sunday in NASCAR. I've already paid for my subscribers for at least the first year already, just with what we're up in NASCAR alone on the year. And we've crushed the UFC the last month on that show. So, yeah, we'll be live tonight. Got the NBA playoffs going, a truck race. So, yeah, if you have the time, check it out. Also, I think that the bet side of this company, in terms of betting content, is the best value in the industry. So check that out as well. Regardless of what you bet, I hope you're on pure. If you faded me, fine. I still hope you win. Other than that, I'll be back probably with Coop on Sunday morning. We'll probably do a bets video for NASCAR. Sunday at 1, I think we're going to do a DFS and bets video for NASCAR on the Run Pure Sports side. And then I'll be live all weekend long. Races, fights, basketball games, and hockey games. So come check us out over at runpurebets.com. And aside from that, I've got nothing. I hope you guys crush this weekend. Later.